So we can begin with the session. So a very good evening. I'm Professor Manjul Vaidya. Uh, and a little bit about me. I'm born, brought up in Chandigarh, and I'm a product of UBS University Business School PU 2006 batch. Presently working with the PMLSD Business School. It's a B school in the heart of the city, rather on the campus of SD College. If you people are from the city itself, so everybody is aware of the SD College out there. And that's a little bit about me, having worked with uh, Mahindra and Mahindra, IBM, PricewaterhouseCoopers, uh, Deputy Director IT for Chandigarh Administration, joined Ministry of IT and was deputed back for Chandigarh Administration for various e-governance initiatives vis-a-vis the Sampark project in the IT park at the Chandigarh itself. So this is about me, and I hope all are doing great. I know it's 6 in the evening, and it's a Friday, and people have their own plans, and probably I'll try and keep my session talk, whatsoever we may term it, a presentation, a very nice, crisp one to the point, and probably that would be beneficial for all of us. So, anything you want to say about that, that how you are doing, or you want to introduce yourself, or whatever you feel comfortable, please go ahead, and that would be nice. I'll be keen to hear you people, and then we'll start. Okay. So I can see Kiran Gupta ji is on with the video and things. That's nice. So okay, so Ranchit Bhatnagar ji is there. Good, nice. I think so. He's trying to say something, but probably the controls.
Good evening, Mr. Manjul. I am Rachit here,
Nice, nice.
speaking from Panchkula only, of Tri-City, and
Great.
would love to hear from you about this main topics. I basically been working in defense and then the corporate.
Oh, nice.
So
Great.
both. So presently now I'm in a drone technology, which is
Oh,
manufacturing, the drones, customized drones for the army, armed forces in general.
mhm.
So that's what about me. And previous to this, I was in Bangalore working as CEO of Aerospace and Aviation Sector Skill Council, which comes
Yes,
under
yes,
NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation.
yes, yes.
Yeah, that's what about me. Thank you.
Yeah, to this thing, I would like to add, I am also associated with the STPI, that is the Software Technology Park of India, where we evaluate a lot of startups for funding. So this reminds me of the drone technology and things. So there are a good number of startups who are working on those drone technologies, and probably they're doing a great job. Maybe I'll share a few of their contacts later on. It would be of great help to you.
That'll be great.
Uh, Definitely, I'll do that.
Well, thanks so much.
So we have 12 people, and so I'll just switch off the video now, and let's share the screen, and we are on to it. So I hope the presentation slides are visible out there. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's nice. So we can start with this. So sometimes I feel this TAM, SAM, SOM is sometimes some kind of a rhythm that is going on out there, and it's in a rhythmic format. Probably they might have designed, and some musician might have even given his inputs for the same. So let's try and decode TAM, SAM, and SOM. So, first and the foremost, what's the need of this TAM Salmon SOM is very important with respect to the startup ecosystem. So, let's see an executive summary which iterates why do we need, or what's the need of TAM Salmon SOM. So market sizing is the key aspect with respect to we take up this TAM, SAM, and SOM. Market sizing is basically defining the landscape. What's written out there is the foundation for of any credible business plan. It is the landscape or the market size which you are trying to cater with respect to your so-called startup or your venture that you are looking forward to. So the clarity distinguishes between total population and paying customers. So we need to have a very good clarity on these two aspects. So total population is something what we view like, okay, this is the population who is going to watch Netflix. That's great. So I assume so many people. I assume out of 1.4 billion people, maybe 10 billion, 20 billion would be there to watch it. But then, how many of are willing to pay for it? So that makes a lot of difference when it comes to taking the money out of people and making them pay. So that clarity is very important. Second part is the focus. Identify immediate high impact geographic segments. So I would again take up the Netflix example wherein I will see with some kind of a filter how many Gen Z and all those people who are in the age group of 18 to 25 are out there. Probably they are my high impact geographic segment which I need to tackle or need to cater to, because probably they are the people who would always be cash ready to pay for it, irrespective what the source of income is, either it's from the parents or their own or whatsoever it is. So I need to see that high impact geographical segment that would be there. And valuation, provide investors with logical revenue roadmap. Now, third important aspect is the valuation part. Valuation is very important with respect to either if you have put in your own money and you are able to survive with it, then it is good. Then it means something is great, something you're doing great on your own and you're thriving with it. But valuation has a lot of importance with respect to when you try and pitch your startup or your venture to a venture capitalist, to some investors out there. So keeping these three things in mind, we need to study about the so-called TAM, SAM, and SOM. I don't know how do we proceed out there. Usually, we do is like, okay, people who have any queries, they can raise hands, or probably we can take them up later on. Whatsoever is the best possible way we can do that. So defining
Mr.
the
Manjul, I think if we can keep asking in between, if that's not an issue.
that's always a welcome. That's always a welcome.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
So defining the metrics. So let's see and define what has been stated by the system out there. TAM is the total addressable market, the total revenue opportunity if you had 100% market share with no competition. Probably something which is the most hypothetical thing we can ever talk about. That is like what usually people say, like maybe some ads which depict that, okay, wow, you have this thing, so the market is open to you and there's so many opportunities and something. But that is the holistic approach. Then comes the SAM, the serviceable addressable market, the slice of TAM that is reachable by our current business model, geography, and technological constraints. So basically, some pie out of that big pie, which I think or we think we can work on and do the best. And lastly is the SOM part, that is the serviceable, obtainable market. This is what you're going to target towards in next 1 to 2 year, or as per your plans. It could be even less than a year, more than a year, whatsoever you feel that, okay, these things if I'm able to do, then you will be able to execute what is there in your mind.
So, Mr.
uh,
Manjul, so then the SAM is a subset of TAM and SOM is a subset of SAM, something like that?
exactly.
Okay.
Very, yeah, that's how it is out there. So let's see what next is out there. So, visionary goal is TAM represents a total revenue opportunity. If you had 100% market share and no geographies and no logical constraints, probably which is not viable in any environment. Competition is always there. So in Indian context, this often looks at in the entire 1.4 billion population or the total digital first households across the country. So we often quote these numbers: 1.4 billion population. We are targeting that population. So you need to see whether it's a product for the whole population, for some segment, their buying power, their purchase power. Everything needs to be taken into account. So entire global industry size is there. Then India is there. So the globe, the India, then some other cities or the regions, north regions, south region, whatsoever region, would always be a part as we break down the whole thing. So that is the TAM part. So this is a very nice slide which I often share. So the common pitfall, the 1% fallacy. So what this is all about, जिसको हम कभी कभी हिंदी में बोलते हैं, जब कोई कच्चा खिलाड़ी होता है ना, तो वो फटाफट ये बोल देता है, सर इंडिया हैज 1.4 बिलियन पीपल एंड if we get just 1% of the market, we'll be huge. So that is like, can you imagine that 1% that you are talking about? If that would have been the viability of your business model, you could have been sailing through. So that is the hook point where the investors hate this statement. Getting 1% requires a massive marketing spend. That is the CAC, that is the customer acquisition cost and logical setup that most startups cannot afford in the early stages. So never use the so-called the base of 1.4 billion and I'm taking 1% of that. So that will never work as such. I hope everything is understandable and we are on the same page, same pace. If any
So the
queries?
abbreviation
Yes, sir.
CSC.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's nice. Thank you. Thank you. So next part is
Sir, I was seeing that in the previous slide, the abbreviation CAC means what?
that is the customer acquisition cost. Customer acquisition cost is somewhat the thing wherein you start a venture. Defense mein hai, so not a particular in defense, but you see, I start up maybe a food venture. So I need to acquire, or I start making some kind of sneakers, which I have an example ahead, and I need to acquire customer. There is a huge competition from Nike and Reebok. So what I'll do is I'll give some discounts, I'll give more margins to the retailers so that I acquire that market, I acquire that customer. So that is an additional cost which I need to bear in the initial phase when you start with your ventures.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah. So then is the SAM, that is the strategic focus that we are talking about. So your SAM is the portion of the TAM that is targeted by your specific product or service within your geographical reach. In case of, I think so, Mr. Bhatnagar is out there, na? Yeah, Mr. Bhatnagar.
Yeah.
And typical defense case, if I take up, strategically, the most fitting thing is that we have the ministry and we are the sole producers of so many defense equipment. Basically, defense method we have is proprietary things, niche things, we not manufactured by everybody. So the market is altogether a different scenario in the defense case. So we apply various filters to it. So the filters probably now moving ahead from not from the defense part, but probably maybe an EV vehicle segment. If we talk about, I need to apply a filter that my geography would be tier 1 and tier 2 cities. I need to define that. Okay, because until unless I don't define my SAM, I cannot be present throughout India for any kind of a venture when we start. Initial phase में तो आप little bit baby steps से ही grow करेंगे. So you need to see, okay, the big pie and the small part out of it. So that is the SAM part to it. SOM is again the most critical part to it, which defines, okay, where you are having your base from where you are trying to start. SOM is the share of the SAM you can realistically capture in the next 10 to 12 months given your current resource and competition. So very important words out there, your current resource and competition. Which will be the most important words. Your current resources, basically the limited resources that you have. I want to start a business from Chandigarh itself. I'll be requiring some space. It could be online, it could be offline. I would be needing human resource, people to work, people to maybe manufacture, cook, whatsoever it is. So those are the resources and the competition. The competition we are always speaking about. Okay, some query. I think so. Okay, anybody is having some query, so definitely can address. Or it was just by fluke. Abhimanyu Goel was trying to. Probably, कोई बात नहीं, we'll take it later on. So, and the competition again, uh, very different, very difficult to address. Probably when drones were there, they were niche. There was no competition. Now there are good amount of competition. Usually, we usually foresee the competition something which is already existing in the market. Okay, we are not talking about Tesla out there or something which probably now has competition, but previously probably didn't have any competition. So something of that kind. So resources and competition you need to tackle hand in hand. Competition with the players already in the market, which are having a big share of the market, and you need to take that. So very simple example. I need to start a food tech startup launching only in Indranagar in Bangalore rather than whole of India. Very apt, specific city, a specific sector, probably a small specific sector where I'll start off with. Okay, so that is the SOM. So that serviceable area is out there. Itanagar, probably the periphery of some 10 kilometers, which is having good amount of population of maybe 1 lakh, and probably there I think of having a food tech where I'll be catering around to. So immediate sale channels would be there. How I am going to do it, online, offline, or whatsoever the product I'm trying to. Initial logistic hubs would be there. How do I reach out to people? The logistics would be managed, whether it is a food tech. So of course, I have with Swiggy, Zomato, and all those things would be there. And actual budgeted marketing reach. How am I going to reach those places in and around so that I am able to cater to them? I need probably to go for some kind of digital marketing, probably for that matter. So there is again some kind of approach with respect to the so-called calculations for this TAM. Okay, start with the reports. Okay, which is the top-down approach we are all aware of. From the top, we try it and see to the bottom how we can reach out. Okay, so this is with respect to what we do is we usually see various reports from IBEF, Gartner's, NASCOM, who are publishing sectorial reports on various things, whether it is the food industry, whether it is the cloth industry, or it is the hardcore metal steel industries. Everything is published by them, IT industry, and we apply filters. Calculate your share by taking the percentage of total market based on logical assumptions. Again, that 1% thing. And the risk, this can lead to 1% fallacy, that is about, okay, 1% I'll acquire by doing this. Something which every consultant would try and do is the top down approach. uh, कुछ रिपोर्ट्स को रेफर किया, उसमें से कुछ डाटा ले लिया, कुछ फिल्टर्स अप्लाई किए और आ गए कि ठीक है 1% को हम 2% को एक्वायर कर लेंगे. So that is a little unrealistic. So that is the top down approach, not liked by many, and often leads to failure. So top down is again very simple. Indian logistic market is like 200 billion. My segment 5%. So SAM is 10 billion. So of course it's so bullish to say about it like okay, 10 billion you'll be able to acquire by your startup. Not viable. So this is top down, rejected by many. Of course, there are data sources. Why I'm mentioning these data sources out there is these are the typical sources where you can see how an industry is doing, how good the industry is performing. Recently, I was going through and I read that medical tourism is on a very high in Asia and probably in India itself. Many people think that okay, it is not about India as cultural diversity and visiting the places, but people often travel from abroad for medical services in India. So this is again redefining as medical tourism, something wherein you have a five-star setup, 5-star hospital which has lavish rooms and everything, and they are catering to it. So big industry is booming on those parameters also. So any kind of report, probably we need always refer a secondary data before we start up or we do anything, so that we know a little sizable context, like how big that market is, how it is performing over the years. So with those references, we can take from these various data sources out there. So the method two is the best method for the TAM. That is the bottoms up analysis. So price multiplied by quantity. Very simple. Price एक चीज की and the quantity, how much of that thing is being targeted. So most credible method for any venture capitalist, start with their own basic economic units and scale outward. So TAM is average revenue per user, ठीक है, into total. So bottom up approach, your customer is and whether they're willing to pay. We'll see a little calculation with respect to this, how this is exactly working. Very simple. Bottom up approach is very realistic and it says how things are being done. So, any business anybody is thinking about, for example, I'm thinking of a business wherein I'll be doing some component of EV is out there for a two-wheeler market or whatsoever it is. So, I can acquire 100 customers a month, something which is very realistic. Yes, मैं 100 customers एक महीने में acquire कर सकता हूँ. Each customer for that thing that I'm trying to do. Even there is just I got an example in my mind right now. Uh, I saw somebody out there who is trying to revolutionize the air conditioning system. There is a system wherein we have the air conditioners in probably in Delhi, and I saw something about it. This guy says like we fit some kind of retrofitting into your AC, and it becomes an air purifier, something which could hit the market very hard, something which people have not even thought of, and something which is already there in their house, and little cost out there, it could be redefined. ठीक है, उसको एक नया लेवल पे आप उसको लेके जा सकते हैं. So with this that aspect, I see कि okay, in Lajpat Nagar, I can easily take 100 customers a month. I can acquire. Each customer pays 5,000 a year, which is the cost of some equipment out there and the maintenance part to it. Therefore, my SOM is 1,200 customers. That is 100 customers a month, 1,200 customers in a year into 5,000. So 60 lakhs. Why this is better? This is based on actual capacity to sell. That means okay, 100 customers, some equipment cost, some labor cost, some guys going, the technical guy doing the thing, so everything into it, something which is very realistic. So that is the bottoms up approach which needs to be taken care of. So why we see that bottom up approach is a good one? Credibility. Investors prefer this because it relies on your internal pricing and sales data rather than general reports. So you're presenting the facts कि okay, 100 हो सकते हैं, ये मेरा internal costing होगा, this is how I plan to do it, how I plan to scale this up. Decision it forces you to define exactly who the target customers is. So example, somebody is trying to make some softwares for something, so you need to see that okay, this is a registered GST registered segment I want to target. So people with air conditioners I need to target. So there is a structured market and an unstructured market. Structured market is always easy to cater, unstructured you cannot cater to because you don't have the exact data about it, exact things about it. So actionable, it directly translates into sales and marketing plan for the next quarter. You do it for some year, some projection for one quarter, and you take it to the next quarter. So you can scale up, see, and project the projections how it is going. And of course, there is a link between the lifetime value of a product or the customer and the customer acquisition cost to it. So lifetime value again is a very typical concept wherein uh, I buy an air conditioner and I see that okay, the lifetime value I'll get from Mr. Vaidya is 10 years because I assume for 10 years he'll be using the AC and I'll be doing the servicing part of it. So that is the lifetime value. After that, that AC would be dumped off. And the customer acquisition cost. Now the cost which I need to pay to acquire Mr. Vaidya, who is previously using an LG air conditioner and convincing him to use an so-called uh, maybe a Hitachi air conditioner. So that is how it will work. So let's take a very simple case study of a two-wheeler segment. Uh, I hope we are all out there, and anything not getting, please do let me know. So a small case study with respect to two-wheelers. So I've defined and aligned the whole thing with respect to the two-wheeler industry, and how we can calculate the things with respect to that. So, TAM, the bigger vision for this would be define the total revenue opportunity if you had 100% market share with no competition. Again, something TAM, which is again very, very realistic. And that is very important to see that, okay, no one is out there, there's no player, I am the only player. So, let's get into it. Why it matters? It tells the investor if the problem you are solving is a big enough to become a unicorn. So, again, we often approach venture capitalists when you have something which is very unique, something very, very different that is solving a bigger problem. Often I've seen people now, I hope you people watch Shark Tank. It's one of the best things to watch around. It gives you a lot of knowledge how things are evolving, how ideas are being uh, done, and they are being taken to the next level. So smartwatches, again, I take the example how they are solving a bigger problems. Apple watches or any brand which is monitoring your heartbeat, which is monitoring your pulse there and then, is again sending some kind of signals to the doctor that, okay, there is something which is not right. Okay, or you have a tracking system with the watch which you'll be able to. In Shark Tank, I saw there was somebody who pitched up a very nice concept of having some snazzy watch on the hands of their kids, which is having some kind of a trackable system. The parents can easily track the kid is there in the school. Now he has taken the school bus and everything is trackable. And the kid is not even aware that, okay, there has been some kind of chip involved into the watch. Very flashy kind of stuff made for the kids so that they are happy using that thing. So something which is very innovative, something which is trying to solve some kind of a problem out there. In an exam in India, if we see starting an EV charging setup, your TAM is the total expenditure on the vehicle fuel and charging by every vehicle owned in India. Again, something we are talking about TAM. We need to take everything into account. Charging and the vehicle fuel which is being spent as of now will be taken into account because we are talking of a bigger vision, that is the TAM. So calculation total potential customers, whole market, whole EV into annual value per customer. The amount he's spending in an annually on the charging and fuel and everything. So that big vision needs to be taken into account. That's the TAM part of it. SAM would be the target segment. So definition of this would be the part of TAM that is actually within your reach based on your current business model and geography. Again, very simple. I want to start those EV charging stations. So where? Okay, I think of, okay, let's not go get into the rural part. Let's take up the urban population where the density of vehicles would be more, and that would be good for me. So why it matters? It defines your immediate playground. You cannot be everywhere at once. You cannot think of, okay, I'll be targeting all the metros in one go. Not viable. The norms, the systems, where you're going to put up those machinery, the requisite permissions. The Harik state is having their own systems of approvals. It would be difficult to jump up to many places. So your EV's charging startup only makes fast chargers for electric vehicles. Very well defined. Now I have cut down to the thing, okay, let's be focused only on two-wheelers and not four-wheelers and other commercial vehicles. So SAM is the total annual spending on charging E2W, that is the electrical two vehicle owners in Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore. Some kind of setup which is could be there for a home setup and costing some amount can be put up in home. So this is how it is defined. Now you filtered out four wheelers, petrol vehicles, and rural area that has been thrashed out. Now because you need to define that particular market area where you'll be able to cater. Probably I've taken Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore. Rather, it could be taking only one metro, maybe Mumbai. That's it, and one go. Next part to it is the song, what we are actually talking about, the execution reality. So very well defined out there. That is the execution reality. Definition, portion of the SAM you can realistically capture considering your marketing budget, sales team, competition. So there is a competition also out there which is clearly being defined. I have a competition from Tata Power and Ether Grid, who are big players in the market. Probably they are into the commercial segment, and I am thinking of having it for not the commercial but the home users. So there is still a competition. They are also entering into it. So how am I going to manage? They already have a big grid of network with them. I don't have that. So why it matters? This is your reference forecast. If this number is too high, e.g. 50% of the market in 1 year, investors won't believe you. So realistically, I take up Chandigarh. I say, okay, I'll be prominently putting up this charging stations if I'm taking it commercially at three spots to be provided by the government in sector 17, Lake, and IT Park. So that is somewhat executable for me, wherein there is a lot of vehicle population that I can cater to. So I cannot ask tell investor like, okay, we have 51, probably 51 sectors in Chandigarh. So I'll be putting up in all the sectors in one go. So that makes it very unrealistic. Huge investment. No one believes me. I say, okay, three stations at a time. So out of the EV owners in tier 1 cities, you plan to install 500 hubs in next 18 months. Your SOM is the projected revenue from those 500 hubs. So, okay, realistic, yes, viable. In each of the three sectors, 17, this, I put up 100 charging stations for two wheelers, something which is viable, something which is I can cater to in a phased manner. If I take take the starting with the one sector, second and third, so I'll be able to execute those in 18 months, something which is realistic I can cater to. So again, this.
Sorry, sir, to intervene, I have a query.
Yep.
Sir, when we are talking about the TAM, is it possible if I'm the lone startup, there would be the entire market would be available to me. But if there are two startups or more than two startups, so should I include the opportunity to take over their stake also? Share.
Uh, okay, very apt question. So you see, first you need to see the kind of startup that you are having. Is it a structured one, or is it something wherein there are reports of how many players are out there in the market? What is their market share? Okay. Usually there are other startups, but you are not aware of how much market share that they have acquired as of now. Okay. So either you have that much of.
Let's take an example like
Sorry. Hello.
making their TAM model. Should they be including like Swiggy's share as well, or they should be going through the industry estimates?
No, they'll be including their share also. The industry reports would definitely be there, which will definitely define the bigger chunk which you are trying to target. So I'll include everything into it.
Also, Mr. Manjul, like this,
Thank you, sir.
in the TAM here, is
Yeah.
it the total two wheelers or is the total EV two wheelers you're talking about?
Now, yes, this is the total two wheelers that I'm talking about. When I talk to somebody out there, कि, okay, मैं एक two wheelers के लिए कुछ बना रहा हूँ, तो so my volumes would be 20 million units because I'm talking the whole two wheeler industry. Then I drill down to, okay, no, not I'm that, but I'm specific to electric two wheelers. So 20 million का 2 million हो गया, and then the premium EV scooter that I'm talking about. So that again brings it down to 2 lakhs units. So
But
So
in the
that is,
definitely when you're talking about the EV only in the starting only, then we should be having total EV two-wheelers at the time.
yeah, I need
But
to rather move that EV probably because we are talking about the EV, but then defining the number of units. This is estimation based on the reports available in the
correct.
market. ठीक है जी, क्योंकि वो डिफरेंट सिनेरियो में मैं आपका बात समझ गया कि ये कैसे होगा। अगर ईवी का भी है तो टोटल मार्केट से शुरू हुआ, फिर ईवी पे आए, उस पे आए। तो उन्होंने जो मार्केट कैप्स लगाए थे, दिस इज अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट ओनली। So again, some predefining stages are out there. So how we're going to expand phase one, phase two, and then the whole of it, and then the replacement part to it. So this is the maybe the timelines which we can as of skip. Uh, Now the reality check. Is it paying? Okay, actual paying capacities hai. Somebody designed recently. We did a testing also with respect to a very niche product. One of my students did it. He created a flask or maybe a thermal bottle which had a lot of uh, uh, blinking switches into it for hot and cold water. It was battery operated and it can sustain the cold water for 12 hours, or a hot water. You can increase the temperatures and something. And we took a feasibility test for that. So many people said, okay, we are ready to go for it. But when they went clicked onto the next aspect, are you willing to pay for it? Now there was a decline to it. Maybe the cost was too high. It was 2500 for a bottle of like 750 ml only. That can be. So such kind of things would always be there. Reality check. Okay, viability. Are the people ready to pay? Is the growth rate out there? Is the reach out there? Whom I'm trying to reach? Are they willing to spend on that? So those reality checks also need to be taken into account. If it's a niche product, it's a new product that we are talking about. So again, a very simple example I've taken of sneakers startup market analysis. Uh, Basically, it's a name which I've thought of like, okay, Soul India could be the name of the sneakers that we might look into and see. So to understand the TAM Salmon SOM for a footwear brand, we look at the transition from functional footwear to a lifestyle sneakers amongst the Indian youth. So some key words are out there. So functional footwear was something which we wear in daily use and something, and then there's a lifestyle sneakers, probably something which you'll be wear somebody is wearing on the daily basis to the office and to the places they are visiting, and of course the focus is India's youth. So taking these aspects into account, uh, some small analysis out there. So how the TAM has been defined and addressed. So total value of the footwear industry, the logic. India is the second largest producer and consumer of footwear globally. This includes everything from 100 rupees Hawaii chappals to 50,000 designer boots. Everything is made in India. So the maths part, little bit of maths that has been taken into account. So there are various ways to calculate the things which are out there available online and offline in the books itself. So defining the total addressable market is the thing that we would be focused on. So population is 140 crores. Some assumptions would be taken out there. The payers per capita, like average 2.5 pairs per year, is costing like 350 crores, the total cost for that, and the blended price 600 per pair, accounting the mass market rubber footwear and premium brands. So taking into account the number of people, the number of pairs, so TAM would be 350 crore pairs that we people are buying into 600. That is the amount that they are spending upon. So it's a huge amount that is figured out there. This is again with respect to the whole market, which is having 100 rupees stuff and the 50,000 stuff all into it. Next part, let's see how.
So Manjul, this is this TAM is a top-down approach or is a bottom-up approach? Like,
This is basically the top-down approach. Okay. This is the top-down approach with some. Sorry, this is the bottoms-up approach, which we have some assumptions into it. This is how things are percolating. So next will with the SAM will be having more clarity into it. अगर ऊपर से होता फिर तो ये होता कि मार्केट स्टार्ट ही सिर्फ होते, बट क्योंकि कैलकुलेशंस है तो फिर बॉटम टू अप वी आर टेकिंग इट अप
Okay.
accordingly.
Yeah.
Yeah. SAM would be again, SAM is the addressable market. Now, my key focus has shifted to athletic leisure and casual sneakers. So, keeping those slippers and the high end shoes and everything and think out of it. So, defining that. So, you are starting a brand called Soul India, premium selling homegrown sneakers priced at this. You cannot serve people looking for formal leathers. So, the market is now some. So TAM ka sub part is SAM. We are now focused on whom we are trying to cater to and our product itself. Both the things. Target audience, Gen Z millennials, tier 1, tier 2 cities. So approx 12 crore people would be there. And sneaker affinity, 25% of this group buys at least a pair of branded lifestyle sneakers annually. Again, some kind of data filtrations have been used to make those things happen. So average price of my pair would be like 4,000 a pair. So SAM annual would be 3 crores. That is the bigger chunk to it into one pair. That is the bigger market that we have defined. This is the universe, probably the sneaker culture universe that I'm talking about. This big would be the market, and this is the pricing that they have done with it. So now comes the real part to it: serviceable optimal market. How am I gonna cater to, and how we are gonna define that? So what a startup can realistically sell in a year. Okay, a new brand, the problem is production capacity and digital marketing reach. Both are hand in hand because I cannot. The production capacity would always be limited because I have a limited number of resources, not a bigger one. It's a niche market that I'm talking about, and the digital marketing reach is very different because the by Gen Z and all those people are aware on are mostly available on the social media handles rather than uh, in on they would buy and see the reviews the product online is a bigger market for them rather than physical stores. And of course I don't have the potential to open any kind of physical stores out there. So these two things are the key target. Maths would always be aiming for 1 crore impressions resulting in 0.5 conversion rate. So a good amount of money would be pumped in with respect to the digital market reach because those impressions would lead me to the clicks, which would lead me to the sales. So sales volume, assuming 50,000 pairs per year, 137 per day. So average order value would be minus accessories or whatsoever included is 42. So multiplying this thing, so this is the bigger revenue that we can try and generate if everything is aligned. So basically, it is just drilling down to how you are going to calculate the things, project the things with some kind of assumptions out there, which somewhat are realistic. Like 50,000 pairs is somewhat a realistic one. And I'm not getting the name of that startup from Shark Tank. Probably he was doing this whole thing and was doing pretty good with respect to the sneaker market. I'll check the name and definitely I'll let you know about that. So again, this is the drill down. Very simple. TAM was the total Indian footwear expenditure market, whatsoever it is. And SAM was the urban buying, lifestyle, premium sneakers, whatsoever we define. And SOM is the listic sales out of it. Okay. So how we have drifted from annual to the SOM part to it, a very small snapshot which clearly defines how this matrix is working on things.
So,
Then again, yeah,
hello.
please. Yes, please,
Sorry
please.
to interrupt. It was supposed to be like it is not supposed to be bottom up. It is top down, right?
You see, there is, if you see this part to it, this part to it, okay. So
Yeah.
again out there, this is a this is a bottom to up because I am having my production capacity. I am having a digital reach, wherein impressions I have calculated. Like if I reach to these many things could be something which is realistic. That is the main part. I'm not adding 3 1 crore pair of shoes being sold out there, or maybe 3 crore. So that would have been unrealistic part to it.
So I can say that when it comes to going from TAM to SAM to SOM, it is
Mm.
top down, but when I'm considering just SOM part, it is bottom up.
Yeah, it's bottom exactly. Though of course that is very, you are very right in that. Of course, last part is the realistic part to it. ठीक है, यस टॉप डाउन में जाएगा ये सारा का सारा, बट कैलकुलेशंस के एस्पेक्ट में बॉटम टू अप is basically more of people will see always from the top down approach, but when you approach for funding part, then this thing is very very critical. No one is asking you in any startups where what's your TAM, SAM and SOM. ठीक है, वो प्री डिफाइंड है. सैम हमें रियलिस्टिक मिल जाएगा इंडस्ट्री रिपोर्ट से, उसका सैम भी आप अपना डिफाइन करोगे. सॉम इज द की पार्ट which is again realistic part, how you are calculating the net values or the projections for year or so. So I take that point, that is very valid out there. So
Yes. Also, Mr. Manjul, like this match, if you see in the TAM and SAM,
yeah,
that match is assuming, I mean, in the previous slide, if you see,
yeah,
those assumptions, like what you're writing as a match is actually assumptions from some reports, maybe.
yes. So you
Those
of course,
reports will again come as a top down because there's some
this,
stats will.
this is a hypothetical case that I have created.
Okay.
You see, for this, you're very right. If I really need to work on this, then I'll be able to create the product. I tell you why. Creating the product, one aspect. Now I need to have a team who will be working on various reports, getting the reports कि Nike के Jordan का market share कितना है, Reebok के market share कितना है, and then taking realistic approach that okay, this can be done. Probably that's the core part, which again somebody who will having who would be having the product will be able to dig down into every aspect of it. So this is a hypothetical case that has been built. So that's, you're very right. Once you do the product part, then of course you'll be like taking into account all those things. So unit economics is again manufacturing cost, marketing and influencers would be 20%. Again, assumptions. These are assumptions. So net profit is like 22% of what is out there. Probably the most important part is the net profit per pair that you will be holding out there. Would again be matching, or maybe in the initial phase you'll be doing away with it because there would be some kind of so-called the customer acquisition cost. More discounts would be given and something, and so you'll be able to reach some kind of a break even point, and then the profits will probably start into it. Okay, so probably I thought I'll be able to do some kind of justification in an hour's program, and I'm able to do that. So this is the TAM, SAM, and SOM part to it. Uh, Now, any queries is always a welcome. I am keen to see what things are out there. If somebody is into a business and they are keen to, they have some kind of practical queries, and I'll be keen to address that, or anything, any other queries for that matter. I'm always open to provide my best. Uh,
So my query is like how to cross check, like we are just putting some data, how to cross check it before going in the front of the investors or the other parties. Because
very
there is no established benchmarking available whereby which we can cross check or establish whether the numbers are accurate or not.
I mean, when you, the simple golden rule which is always out there is that you take any kind of data. Even in my class, I tell people now these days we all use Chat GPT. Okay, I tell them freely use Chat GPT. I have no issues into it, but don't don't take the whole onus of that thing and data onto you. Okay, provide a reliable source to it. Every presentation should have a reliable source to it. Bottom, okay, this I have taken from that. Okay, those people who are sitting out there, of course, any venture capitalist would definitely be very very confident when you say, okay, sir, this I've taken from the NASCOM reports, this I've taken from these reports, and that this is how I've made my calculations into it. So you are like superimposing the confidence that this is authentic data taken by me from here, from this space. So that is how you can validate that data.
Sure, sir.
Right. Because you see, कोई भी business शुरू करोगे ना, the biggest thing would be the national report, which all the people will buy. That is why we buy those reports, because we need those reports, the authentic reports on any industry. They sell it. Then there are the research firms who will do some kind of a niche research for you, getting the authentic data filled by the people, and again they will provide you that report. Probably again that would be a good source that you will definitely provide once you're doing that. We went for a research, and this research firm got us this data. So that is how you can build up the confidence for that matter.
And sir, one more queries, follow-up
Yeah.
queries there. Can you explain in much more detail what is the unit economics?
Okay, unit economics part probably. Let me check. Okay, unit economics is very simple. This is manufacturing cost, marketing, everything that has been taken into account. You need to put in that. एंड में मेरा जो यूनिट इकोनॉमिक्स निकल रहा है वो कैसे निकल रहा है, वो बेसिकली सारी चीजों को निकाल के आपका नेट प्रॉफिट कुछ परसेंटेज में निकलेगा. आई नीड टू टेक ऑल द कॉस्ट, फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट, वेरिएबल कॉस्ट, एवरीथिंग इनटू इट. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग को जैसे स्नीकर्स है तो एक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कॉस्ट होगा जो भी प्रोडक्ट का होगा, दैट इज एक्स पार्ट टू इट. Then somebody's you are using influencers for gifting, blah blah whatsoever, to target the market. Again, some cost to it. Of course, इसमें digital marketing cost आ गया आपका logically. Then the logistic and the warehousing. Sneakers would be shipped in bulk. There would be returns, something of that kind, and the platform retail. Now, because it's sneakers, we are not going for a physical sales, be basically online and things. So multi-branding, Myntra and Amazon and all those things will again charge some amount to it. Now, taking all these costs in considerations, you will be able to see how you're gonna peg that 4,200 rupees unit economic cost, because I need to put some profit into it. So that is the concept of unit economics. Everything taken into account, then you put up the unit economics. Okay, एक पेयर इतने में मेरा हो रहा है with net profits of this much.
Like in simple terms, I can say my cost price, there is a breakdown of my cost price,
Cost
plus I'm
is
adding some profit so as to reach my
and the
salary.
markup price into it, 10%, 15% profits I see. And that, because again those net profits sometimes would be there, sometimes would be nullified, because there could be some additional expenses or something of that would be there. Customer acquisition cost काफी ज्यादा उसमें वो element को वो kill कर देता है usually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Manjul, I
much.
think when you see this cost again, unit economics, I
Yeah.
hope it could be a small typo maybe, but I think the whole
Yeah.
would add up to 100%, right? So
Yes. So this is again, if we see 50, 50, and this
that was
is
27% net profit or somehow I
yeah, yeah.
missing.
There is, so if it is 50 and this is again 30, 5 का margin है sir, 5 का उसमें है. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that is there. तो वो उसमें stats में खुद ही typo one. Yes. So this is the end of what we had, what I had with me. I've shared the things. Anybody who's keen to connect offline, I think so. I've mentioned out there. This is the number that I can be reached out to on WhatsApp, or you can even connect with me on LinkedIn, whatsoever platform is out there. From LinkedIn, I'm there, so happy to connect. And any queries with respect to the business you are trying to see, I can definitely watch out if I have my contacts in the particular system, ecosystem. We can liaison with those people out there. So with this, I am thankful for all the people who joined in, sparing their time on Friday evening to listen to me. Thanks a lot.
Manjul, yeah, that looks a very special number though to read. Very special number. And so looking forward for the even like it to share that drone startups in the STPI. I'll connect separately and then maybe talk to you.
Definitely, definitely, Pranay. We'll definitely look for.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
thanks.
That's nice. Thank you, thank you. Over to Dr.
Thank you,
Siddhartha.
sir.
Yeah.
I hope all questions have been addressed. Are there any more questions from anybody? Okay, then we can close this meeting with a big thanks to Dr. Manjul for giving such a wonderful session and delineating the things about TAM, SAM, and SOM. And for our dear participants, there's an announcement that the session will be followed with an assignment. You need to present your calculations, total addressable market against your technology with the tech panel, and the time given for that assignment will be around 1 week. So please be regular with your assignments and upload those reports on Google Classroom, and you will be shortly having this assignment uploaded on Google Classroom from my end. I'll assign this, and I hope you all will be able to do this. All the best for your future endeavors. Thank you, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Please have a great evening. Thank you.